Now, on the clip of a video that was played yesterday here, you were requested to give your opinion. No, not really opinion. You were requested to describe what is appearing on the video, and then you went on to describe the clothes that the person is wearing that's working on the video.
That is correct, my lord.
I'm not so sure whether you, in your description as to what is happening in the video, that did you also describe the motor vehicle that you see? It's common cause. It's a Mazda. What is it now? Yes, it is that car that is appearing there. I don't see I can't see it clearly.
Yes, indeed, my lord, I did describe it. I said it's a BMW X6 belonging to the deceased. It's a vehicle that was driven by the deceased the previous day when he arrived at this place, my lord, at the crime scene. This is a crime scene. That's why he was shot. So that vehicle is a BMW X6 belonging to the deceased, my lord.
Now, this is what the state requested you to do. Actually, this was the question that came from the state. What was the occasion there? What answer did you give to that state's question?
I'm not sure, my lord, if I described the occasion, because all I recall is that it was during the day, as I said, and I could see Zandi, the lady now, and because I described the gentleman as Mr. Longwe, I described the second person as Zandi Kumalo, and I said the vehicle belongs to the deceased, and that it was during the day. Yes. I think the specific occasion, I don't think I went that far to say what was happening or where were they coming from. I don't think I went that far insofar as the occasion is concerned.
Thank you, Brigadier. I'm going to request the operator. There's something that is quickly drawing my eye there on the video when the lady, I don't know who that lady is, when the video, when the door opens, the lady seems to be holding something in their hand that looks to me like a carton of Chibuko. I don't know. That yellowish thing. What is that? Is that not Chibuko?
No. If I may assist, my lord, it looks like a machewu, a container of machewu. That's what I see.
No, I'm sorry. I totally missed it. Honestly, I said that was a chibuk. I said, I will need to clarify with you. It looks like a machewu. Machewu eluded my thinking. No, but thanks a lot. Yeah. No, but thanks, Brigadier. Now, the question was, what answer did you give to the state when they asked you, when the state asked you what was the occasion, and then you just gave your answer? Now, yesterday, this is what you said. You still remember that?
I do recall, my lord.
Thank you. Now, with that in mind, you went on to try and corroborate, to try and disprove the assertion that was put by Mr. Mngomezulu to one of the witnesses that on the following day, which is actually the assertion that Longwe sustained an injury at the time when the incident took place. Do you still remember that?
That is correct. I do recall, my lord.
Thank you. And I must just hasten to demystify everybody here that what Mr. Mngomezulu put to that witness was that in terms of his own investigation, Mr. Mngomezulu, what he put to the witness was that in terms of his own investigation, he came across information that Longwe also got injured when the incident took place. In other words, that should not be imputed as a version that came from any of the accused here.
In layman's terms, quite frankly, we cannot back up the assertions of Advocate Thulani Joshua Mngomezulu the late, may his soul rest in peace. In simpler terms, the defense team has no evidence and they cannot carry forward Mngomezulu's assertions. I believe Mngomezulu kept the witness he mentioned to himself. The information he did to himself cannot be carried forward. Or the witness has not come forward, or the witness only trusted Mngomezulu with that assertion. And quite frankly, what did Newsroom say? Newsroom called it that the defense team is spinning. Okay, that Umnisi Wemvula is spinning, but I don't see it as spinning. And I'm not taking a defensive side here. I don't see it as spinning. It was said by Advocate Ngomezulu. Advocate Ngomezulu is no longer inside within Phakathi, the courtroom. Unfortunately, he will not be returning. Also, there was the alleged affidavit by Longwe inside the prison with Advocate. Therefore, that doesn't seem to be materializing. So basically, the defense is putting it on the record. We're putting this part to rest. And besides, none of the accused actually put it as their version. So let me know your thoughts with regards to that in the comment section down below. It's disappointing, but such is life. Such is life. They cannot just carry forward blind statements without the evidence to back it up. And you know Mnisi Mvula, you know his work ethic. He would not carry something forward that he cannot defend profusely. So unfortunately with this, he wasn't able to get anything of substance from Umuzi Sevilla. Yeah, let me know your thoughts, how you feel about that. Knowing, of course, that Longwe Twala is not a person of interest. But you already know the Brigadier is going to jump all over this one and want to give his lengthy response. Let's hear what the Brigadier has to say.
Thank you.
So, my lord, if I may have an indulgence to respond.
Okay.
Yeah. So first, then I want to go back because I agreed with Advocate Mnisi that indeed I made reference of, on the date of the 27th of October 2014. Now, my lord, when you refer to that part, it needs to be taken in the broader context that when I was giving that response, because I did give that response,
yes,
and it's in relation to the footage. If you look at the footage, there's no date. If you look at this footage, it doesn't indicate where. It's because I know the place. If you don't know the place, you'll have difficulty to know where was even this taken. And two, you'll have a difficulty of knowing these two individuals if you don't know them. So that is the first part. Now, the second point, my lord, the existence of this video came as a result of a Section 205 subpoena from the state, from us, requesting ENCA to give us the data of the 27th of October 2014.
Yes.
And that is where now I moved into that date that Ngomezulu is referring. Advocate Mnisi, my apologies, Advocate, that is referring to. So it was informed by the application that came from us as the state to the NCA, and then they provided this data. So if you look at the two, the assumption that one can draw, and I'm referring to myself, is that this is in response of the request, which says data or recordings of the 27th of October 2014. Now, if you take that, that's why I said you need to take this collectively, my lord. You now take what we see, which is then in response of the request for the recordings of the 27th of October 2014, because the subpoena speaks itself clearly what we need. If you take that into account to say this recording will then be in response of this, and the date, therefore, will be the 27th of October 2014. And now you read into what was alleged by the late Mr. Ngomezulu, that Mr. Longwe Twala shot himself. That would have been the previous night. And you see him walking like this on the following day. I was saying it like that, my lad. If you take that into account and you follow like that, it doesn't narrate, because this is not a view of a person who would have shot himself in an ankle, the way he walks, my lord. Lastly, my lord, in my recollection, and perhaps then I can be assisted with the version, the records of Mr. Ngomezulu, but from my recollection, I don't seem to recall reading a passage in what I was asked to read, my lord, where Mr. Ngomezulu says in his own investigation. I don't seem to be recalling reading that part, that he was actually doing his own investigation, and then he was putting the version of his own investigation in what I read, and I'm referring to what I read. I don't recall seeing the part that says he was conducting his own investigation. Yes, my lord. No, I've now double-checked the recordings, the proceedings, my lord. It doesn't say he was doing his own investigation. In fact, it says version, putting this version to Colonel Mangena. He was cross-examining Mr. Mangena. So he put a version, not an investigation, according to this record.
Thank you, Brigadier. There's, as we assist the accused in the conduct of their defense, the defense would always do their own investigation on how best can they assist the accused in the conduct of their case. And so sometimes we come up, actually more often than not, we would say, I am putting it to you that this is. But specifically when something comes from our client, we specifically say, I've got instructions that, or this is what my clients, if needs be, will come and say. Do you understand? So that's the difference. That was a bit of an education background.
Well, the brigadier did this to himself, okay, because of his love of having the last word, the last say, the last dun, okay. He did not want to accept the statement by Umnisiwe Mvula that, hey, those were the assertions by Ungomezulu for his own investigation. It is not coming from any of the 5 accused. And the brigadier said, no, that's not true, okay, that is not true. In my recollection, I don't see anywhere where he says this is my own investigation. Instead, let me read it again. And he says, I've double checked it. You know, the brigadier, he's a very thorough man. Okay, very, very thorough man. I've double checked it and it doesn't say so. But he does say, I'm putting this version to Colonel Mangena, according to the record. Mnisi Wimvula says, well, if you want to go down that route, I'm going to teach you a lesson you're going to forget. Because you know, the brigadier, right, is studying for an LLB, or allegedly, we don't know, because he only wanted to whisper his results over there to my lord only. It is not a public record conversation. I wonder why. For such a proud man, why wouldn't he want to reveal his results on the record? But we are not there. So Umnisi says, well, since you insist, I'm going to teach you a valuable lesson you will never forget. When a lawyer says, I'm putting this version, it's coming from the lawyer. But when a lawyer says, and it's coming strictly from the client, the lawyer, the legal representative will say, and he says, we specifically say, I've got instructions that, and then Nisi ends it off with, that was a bit of an educational background. And then he moves back into his question, because one thing about the brigadier, he will want to argue this out for the next 45 minutes, okay? So let's go ahead and listen into Nisi going back to the original question and then moving away from the Ngomezulu conversation, assertion. It has been put to bed. It has been put to rest. Technically, there's nobody coming to talk about Longwe's foot. We do know, though, that here in the court of public opinion and mainstream media, Abondaba, okay, Patricia Mashale, the real mastermind, the whistleblower, also known as Miss Fear Focal, she actually has been in contact with the alleged witness, the witness, Ngomezulu's witness, and unfortunately, they are no longer willing to come forward. They're no longer willing to come forward. And Guningi, yeah, I'm going to look for that video and see if I can recollect and play that for you in a separate video. And yeah, that is the end of the conversation of Longwe Twala and his foot. Dun. All right, so let's get back into it.
Yeah, thank you, Brigadier. Now, in essence, what you're saying is that you responded to the question by the state and spoke about what could have happened on the 27th of October 2014 in what you saw on the video there. In other words, you aligned your evidence on what you saw on the video there to be on the 27th of October 2016, because the content of the subpoena was specific that they needed a video that was allegedly taken on the 27th of October 2014.
I think in summary, my lord, yes, but the subpoena, perhaps to correct, it was not made by me, but the essence of the subpoena, yes, it was requesting data for the recordings of the 27th of October 2014. And as I said, my lord, if you take that video, as much as there's not date, but the issue of the car, this is now when you go to investigation, because if you take that and you read it into docket, you will find certain facts that indicates that indeed this was the day, because subsequent to this, the vehicle was taken. This is now the vehicle of the accused. So but answering Advocate Mnisi, yes, there was a subpoena generated requesting information or data of a specific day, and that day was the 27th of October 2014, insofar as Mr. Longwe Twala, because he was the point of focus, and then that's what we received back as a state, my lord.
So, in essence, Brigadier, although you prefer your testimony to fit the date of the 27th of October 2014, you, in essence, do not know when this video was actually taken. So, or this clip, not video, but this clip of a video.
No, I can't independently say that, my lord.
Thank you. I think it will also be an unfair question for me to ask you whether on the 27th of October 2014, were you there when the video was taken? Who shot it? How, under what circumstances? whether you, 27th of October 2014, you met the two people that are depicted there. I think those will be unfair questions to you because you bear no knowledge as to what date this video was taken and so.
I will not know, my lord.
Thank you.
athi cha ngeke ngibe nalo ulwazi lolu daba lolo.
Thank you, Brigadier. Now, let me and you now try to assist the court. With a vast and extensive knowledge of investigation, would you dispute it or would you agree with me when I say the person who is best positioned to come and articulate about what is happening in that video, about the date on which that video was taken, about the allegations that were raised by Mr. Ngomezulu against Mr. Longwe? It's Longwe himself, not so. If we are basically trying to assist the court.
Now, let me tell you something. This is not only hilarious, it is absolutely hilarious and also brilliant, genius, you name it, okay? Advocate Nisiwe Mvula uses one of the Brigadier's most used words to assist the court, if I may, to assist the court. If we were ever to count how many times the Brigadier says, if I may assist the court, I'm telling you, for every time he says it and we put in 1 rand, we would literally have 1,000 rands. 1,000 rands is enough to pay the bail of the untouchables, okay, inside the Pagati at the magistrate's court. But we are not there, okay, we are here. I love that Umnisi used that sentence because he knew. Now he's put the Brigadier in a corner and he says to him, let's hold hands together. Let's assist the court. This is what I'm putting to you, that Longwe is the only person who can actually come and answer questions about this video and of course about his uncle. Now let's hear how the Brigadier takes this. Will he hold Nisi's hands and they assist the court together, or will he tell Nisi, oh my goodness, no, never will I ever hold hands with you? Let's continue listening on.
Not necessarily, my lord. I agree he can play a role, but to say perhaps he might be the only option that you can look at, no. Because you can look at, for example, the lady that is there, Miss Kelly, Miss Zandi Kumalo, who was there. She's there, you can see on the video. Obviously, the editors from ENCA, hence the request was made, they'll be able to indicate when was this footage taken. But since we are dealing with a docket that covers the date of the 26th, all the way, when statements were made, in particular on the 27th, you'll be able to somewhere place Mr. Longwe Twala either at the crime scene or when he was disposing his affidavit to the police on the 27th. Insofar as his condition is concerned, I'm referring now to be responding in relation to what Mr. Ngomezulu is saying, because this is important, to say he shot himself. So independently from this, we can place him going to the police. The statement was taken on the 27th, commissioned. No utterances or assertions are made that he was injured. He came there limping and so forth. In fact, to show the accuracy of the police, my lord, the accuracy of the police, Mr. Tumelo Mazala was wearing a cast and he was on crutches. Now, if you look at the docket, you will see that it comes out clear that if there was anyone injured wearing a cast, it is actually Mr. Madlala. Hence, even the crutches that he was using, some of them were taken for DNA analysis. That is insofar as someone that could have been injured in the lake, you could find in the docket. You do not find such when it comes to Mr. Longwe Twala. So I'm saying, yes, he can play a role, but he cannot be the only one. There are a lot of supporting
Let's
people.
Let's give the interpreter to interpret. I think that's almost a page.
My apologies.
Yeah, hold it there. Then you'll proceed thereafter.
Okay, no, sorry.
Thank you, Brigadier. Now let's come home now. Does the state have a problem in calling Longwe Twala to come and give substance towards what is happening or on what is happening on that clip of a video?
As it got, please, my lord. I think we did touch on this aspect yesterday, that it is the discretion of the state to call the witnesses who can assist the court regarding the issues that are in dispute. If the state doesn't call any witness, that witness will be made available to the defense. It's not for a witness to give an opinion on that.
That's a bit ironic, my lord, when the state says it is not for its witness to give an opinion throughout this witness's testimony, he has been giving opinions. The state cannot be allowed to appropriate and reprobate. When it fits the state, the witness is not allowed to give an opinion. But when it does not, when it fits the state, the witness is allowed to give an opinion. But in other circumstances, the witness is not allowed to give an opinion. It does not work out like that. You cannot have your cake, you cannot eat your cake and still have it. It does not work out like that, man.
No, it's not about giving an opinion. It's about calling off a witness. Calling off a witness, my lord, it's the duty of the state, the prosecuting counsel. It's not the discretion of the investigating officer. The investigating officer, all that he does is to assemble the evidential material, put it to the disposal of the prosecuting counsel. Prosecuting counsel decides which witness to call. It is therefore unfair of Advocate Nisi to ask the investigating officer as to why is Mr. Longwe not being called.
I thought this was a team. Now I realize it's no longer a team. Thank you, Brigadier. I've got no further questions to you. There are other avenues that we'll basically explore in seeing to it that justice is not only done, but is seen to be done. Thank you, Brigadier.
Oh, that closing line from Mzansi Unfiltered. We will explore other avenues in seeing to it that justice is not only done, but that it's seen to be done. I mean, you cannot beat that, and the Brigadier has nothing to say. Basically, what Missy said is, you've just been useless, okay? You've been useless, you haven't assisted us for justice to be done. So we will look at other avenues to see to it that justice will be done. So it looks like Longwe is going to come, but under team defense. Why would the state allow that to happen? Longwe is too volatile for them. It's too volatile for them. They would not have been able to control him. They would not have been able to do damage control. And by the time that he comes under the defense, so it's going to be crucial for the defense to call him as soon as possible, because it's possible for Longwe to go on some long binge of substances, okay? Yeah. And I don't know. When is a good time to call Longwe? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. But another thing is, I'm now wondering, why would Team State allow for Longwe to default to being a defense witness, knowing the assertions of Ngomezulu and knowing that Longwe can come himself to talk to this video? This is very interesting. This is very interesting. I want to see how this is going to go. I want to see where this is going to go. The state probably has one up their sleeves. Kuningi, guys. Wow. And as for Baloyi, did you see how fast he jumped up and down? He jumped up and down so fast just so that he could say no. No. The Brigadier is not going to give any answer on the record, because we know the Brigadier, he was not going to miss an opportunity to respond. Why is it, if you are assisting the court, is Longwe not the right person to come here? Is there a specific reason that the state doesn't want this witness to be made available? Ooh. Let's come home now. Does the state have a problem in calling Longwe Twala? Yeah, I could see why Baloyi jumped up and down. There's no way. Brigadier Gininda was going to reveal it all. He was going to reveal it all. He was going to tell us the problems with Longwe. He was going to go off on a tangent that Baloyi did not want on the record. Remember, Longwe is the golden goose here, okay? He's the golden goose that laid the golden egg. Golden egg, not golden tooth, golden egg. But you know what? I want to hear your thoughts on this. Nisi has closed his cross-examination. Let's talk about Advocate Ramasipili. I think we need to do Ramasipili, and then we will be done with Gininda, at least for now, because they still have to do the inspection in loco that they tried to run away from, which means Gininda is still coming back in after the recess. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to end it right here. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you on my next upload. Bye.